Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be looking at yet another NBA mock draft, but this time with my updated big board, my top, I think it's 18 prospects. I've scouted about 25 guys, but 7 I didn't really like too much. It's still, no question, who the number 1 pick in the draft is going to be, potentially the best prospect we've seen since LeBron, yada, yada, yada. We talk about it every time. But today, we've got some different picks towards the back end of the lottery, so make sure you stick around for that. Hit the like button and leave me a comment down below. Also hit the subscribe button if you want to see more NBA draft or just NBA offseason content. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Number 1 overall, San Antonio Spurs, Victor Wembenyama. I've made a couple videos about it on the channel. Probably one of the greatest prospects we've seen, just due to his potential is so high. I mean, he has potential to be greater than anybody we have ever seen because he's 7'5" with a probably NBA All-Star level guard talent offensively, but he's 7'5", so he's combining the two, which, I mean, if that makes sense, might have been a little hard to follow, but that is crazy. He's also in the best situation he could have been in going to the San Antonio Spurs with Coach Gregg Popovich. I mean, that's just, you couldn't really write it up any better. We've seen Tim Duncan go to that situation before, and he became one of the all-time greats. I believe that was the last time the Spurs had the number 1 overall pick. Probably the only time in the Popovich era that they had the number 1 overall pick. Now at number 2, we've got my Hornets, who have become accustomed to picking in the lottery. Unfortunately, we're just terrible as a franchise, but we luck out. We didn't get Wembanyama, but we do get the number 2 player in the class in Henderson. Dude's going to be an absolute monster. We're going to pair him up with LaMelo Ball in the backcourt. We're going to get Miles Bridges back, and the Hornets are going to be good next year, hopefully, for the first time in ages. I think he's a franchise point guard. In my opinion, he is, but he's going to be playing at the 2, similar to what we saw the Pistons experiment with Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey before Cade got hurt. That's what the Hornets are going to be doing here. 2, well, they are ball-dominant point guards, but you can stagger their minutes if you'd like, if they're playing on the court at the same time. I really like it because Scoot really gets downhill, and LaMelo's really good at finding people when they get downhill. We saw him playing with Miles Bridges before. You know, that's kind of what I'm envisioning here. Now, at 3, we have the Blazers, who likely won't be staying at this pick. I've seen rumors of the Blazers wanting to go up and trade 3 and Anthony Simons to the Raptors for OG and Siakam. Maybe a future pick thrown in there as well. We'll see. But Brandon Miller, pure scorer, second best shooter in the class, does have some legal issues. But I think, you know, at 6'9", you can throw those out the window. I mean, he's a guy with all NBA type talent, all NBA type potential that just needs to be tapped into. And in Portland, if he does go there alongside Dame Lillard, I think that will help him out a lot. Now at number 4, we have the Houston Rockets, and they're going to go out and get Amen Thompson. Rumored that Amen was over Scoot Henderson on the Rockets board. I say rumor because I think that's, even the Rockets aren't dumb enough for that to be true. But Amen's got insane length and athleticism for a point guard, and I think he's going to fit in very nicely in Houston. He could be the perfect franchise point guard, can get it out to Jalen Green or to Alfred Sengun or Jabari Smith Jr., whoever he needs to dish the rock off to. They've got a lot of options for him there in Houston, so he's going to come in. Don't know about Kevin Porter Jr. on down the road. Honestly, he's probably going to have to be on the way out if I am a Houston Rockets front office executive. Now at number 5, we have the Detroit Pistons, and they're going to go with a guy in Cam Whitmore, super athletic. They need some wing depth at 5. I know you're not really supposed to be picking based off of team need, but super athletic, thick, big-bodied kid, all the potential in the world. We've seen some of the tough shot making he has showcased at Villanova, and he's a guy I'm a big fan of down the road. Cam Whitmore is a guy that I've got him at number 5 in my rankings, and I think he will fit in very nicely there with the Detroit Pistons. Now we're going to head over to Fanspo and with the number 6 overall pick. So here at number 6, we have the Orlando Magic going out and getting Gradey Dick out of the University of Kansas. Now I do like the Taylor Hendricks fit here. I can see them playing him at the 4, moving Polo to the 3, trading Jonathan Isaac. That is some of the suggestions I've seen for the Magic. However, I do have Hendricks graded slightly higher, but I think Gradey Dick with a much higher floor, and this is a Magic team that is looking to make a playoff push, and what do they need? Scoring and shooting from their two guard. Dick at 6'7", I mean, he's not very small either. I think he's going to come in right away. I'm a big-time believer in Gradey Dick, to be honest. Now at number 7, we have the Indiana Pacers, who are extremely happy that Taylor Hendricks falls into their lap. Now some other rumors with 26 and 29 from Cleveland and Boston. They're going to be looking to move up into the later teens. Another team that, I mean, we've been talking about Bilal Coulibaly here on the channel a lot lately. Another potential suitor for Coulibaly with those later two, even these 3 picks right there, all at the end of the first round, beginning of the second. But at 7, we'll get back on track here. We got the Taylor Hendricks show coming to Indiana, probably starting over Jalen Smith on day 1. Now at number 8, we have the Washington Wizards, and I had Cason Wallace graded higher than Anthony Black originally. However, I mean, even though Cason Wallace is potentially the best defensive prospect in this draft at the guard position, you know, the Thompson twins, they give up a good fight as well. But Cason Wallace is just so elite. But at 8, we have the Wizards. They're going to need their point guard of the future. I went back, Anthony Black, just oozing with potential at 6'7", and he can defend it pretty well. And can really dish the rock out as well. So at number 8, we have Anthony Black going to the Washington Wizards. Now at 9, the Jazz are happy with that selection as well because they get the best player on the board to fall into their lap. And then another team that could be after Coulibaly. Maybe they trade 28 and 16 to Oklahoma City, end up with Coulibaly, although I think Oklahoma City is really liking Coulibaly as well as the Raptors. We'll talk about that again later in this video, so make sure you stay tuned. But at 9, we have the Jazz, and they're going to go out and get Jarace Walker, 6'7" wing out of Houston. I think he's going to come in and play the 3. They got Colin Sexton and Chris Dunn at point. Jordan Clarkson, I mean, maybe THT, we'll see. But Jordan Clarkson is a free agent. We'll see if they bring him back. Ochai could play the 2 or the 3, but other than that, I mean, what do they have? Honestly, Rudy Gay, how old is he, like 47? Jarace Walker is going to come in and play the 3. Now at 10, we have the Dallas Mavericks. And Cason Wallace would be the pick here, but, I mean, they have guards already, obviously. Ausar Thompson would be the pick here, but he can't shoot the 3 ball, and that's exactly what this Mavericks team needs. So, finally, you're going to keep going down the board, and you see Dereck Lively here out of Duke, projected at number 12. Rumor has it he hit like 23s in a row from the corner pocket in Chicago the other day. So Dereck Lively is going to be a Dallas Maverick. He solves all of their needs when it comes to rim protection and rebounding from a true center. Then you can spend your money in free agency on bringing Kyrie back, a sign and trade potentially for Christian Wood. We'll see what they do. It's going to be an interesting offseason for the Mavs, but starting it off with Dereck Lively at number 10. Now at number 11, we have the Orlando Magic, and, I mean, they could go out and get Coulibaly. I've had them getting Jordan Hawkins in previous mock drafts, but here I'm going to have them go out and take a shot on a guy that I feel like, honestly, I don't know what to think about Ausar Thompson. I mean, obviously he showed potential, but the Overtime Elite League, really? Are we really counting that as anything close to Division I basketball or the G League Ignite? I mean, come on. I don't think there's been a single player to make it to the NBA out of the Overtime Elite League. Was it Derek Barlow, I believe is his name? Something like that. He's on the Spurs G League team now, and that's about it. So, Ausar Thompson here, it's interesting. I mean, Amin already went earlier in the draft, but it's because of his playmaking upside. So Ausar here at 11. We've got the Magic with this Bulls pick, their final payment for the Vucevic trade. I think it's safe to say that the Magic won that trade. They're going to get Ausar Thompson to pair up with Gradey Dick, and at least one of them is going to be their starting shooting guard for years to come. Now at number 12, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. Do they go with Coulibaly? Do they go with Maxwell Lewis? That is the question of the draft here today. I don't know why is it not loading? What's wrong with my internet? Who knows? Anyway, all I know, Thunder at 12, Maxwell Lewis below Coulibaly. Let me know down in the comments below what y'all are thinking. I'm going to go Maxwell Lewis. It could very well be Coulibaly. Lewis has a much higher floor, Coulibaly with a much higher ceiling. Both of them can do around the same thing, both about 6'7", 6'8". Coulibaly with like a 7'3" wingspan, which is off the charts. I don't know about Maxwell Lewis, but I do know he averaged 17 and 6 this year at Pepperdine, which has to count for something. Coulibaly putting up like 5 points per game over in France. So it's floor versus ceiling here, and I think the Thunder are trying to make the playoffs next year, so we're going to get them the sure thing. We're going to go out and get them a 6'7" wingman to go along with. They got Dort, they got Shea, they got Gradey, they got Jalen Williams, they got Poku, they got Chet Holmgren. They got a great young core. I definitely miss somebody. We'll see if Dieng pans out. They got a great young core here, so I think it's time to go out and get them another guy similar to Jalen Williams that has a very high floor in Maxwell Lewis out of the West Coast Conference. Now at 13, we have the Raptors. Rumors of almost a completely new starting lineup next year with Scotty at the 1, and then Brandon Miller, Bilal Coulibaly, Jakob Poeltl, and Precious Achiuwa. We'll see if that happens, but here, rumored that the Raptors have given Coulibaly a draft promise, and that's who it is going to be there. Now, a big winner of this board falling this way will be the Jazz at 16 because they could potentially get Cason Wallace. But right here, we have the New Orleans Pelicans, and they're going to be going out and getting Jordan Hawkins out of UConn. Actually, it's an interesting pick here because you've already invested in point guard in Dyson Daniels and Kira Lewis Jr. Lottery picks in 2 of the last 4 years, I believe. So you've got to go out and get somewhere else, right? You need more wing scoring probably. Jett Howard, Bryce Sensabaugh. I think that it's going to be Bryce Sensabaugh here for the Pelicans. I just don't know what to do with this pick. Pelicans fans, comment down below. What do y'all want at 14? We're going to go Bryce Sensabaugh. Now with the 15th overall pick, we have the Atlanta Hawks on the board. And here, I think they're probably going to try to go power forward. I know they like Jalen Johnson a lot. Maybe they're moving on from John Collins and probably need to. It's a big contract. He's not really producing as they would like. So I think Chris Murray's the pick here. I think Jalen Johnson can play the 4. You're going to have to move on from Clint and John Collins in the foreseeable future, or the very near future, actually. Onyeka, Jalen Johnson, and then Chris Murray will be your front court of the future, and I think that's nice. Now, at 16, we have the Utah Jazz, and boy, has this board fallen perfectly for them. They get another franchise piece in Cason Wallace here at 16. What a steal. Now, I know Chris Dunn is a dog. He's going to have to be a dog coming off the bench, though, because Cason Wallace is going to be the starting point guard for this Jazz team, and you add him, you add Jarace Walker at the 3 with a Jordan Clarkson or a Colin Sexton at the 2, plus Lowry and Walker Kessler. That is a very fun young team in Utah all of a sudden. So that's where Cason Wallace is going. Now at 17, we have the Lakers. And yeah, they could use another scorer. They could definitely use another shooter. Jordan Hawkins out of UConn. Kind of put him on his back this year, especially down the road, although they were just so overpowered. But hey, he can shoot it from anywhere, any way, anytime. He loves to shoot the ball, that's for sure. But he's very good at it. I'll give him that. So he's going to come in and he's going to provide some more wing scoring. If Austin Reeves decides to leave, then you've got Jordan Hawkins. He can be the replacement right there. Now, what do the Miami Heat need? Basically the same thing that the Lakers needed. Another guy that can score it from downtown, from really anywhere on the court. So that's going to be Jett Howard, a guy that really likes to shoot it. He can create for himself. Now maybe a Nick Smith or Dariq Whitehead would be the pick here. Although Isaiah Wong would be fun too. As a matter of fact, it's not going to be Jett Howard. It's going to be Kobe Bufkin, a guy that can attack the rim. He can finish. He can score from all 3 levels. He can finish exceptionally well with his left hand. His right hand is still a work in progress, but he can score from all over the court. Kobe Bufkin is going to be the pick for the Heat there. Another creator on the perimeter. Now at 19, we have the Golden State Warriors, and this is where G.G. Jackson is going to come off the board. Perfect fit for him. He's going to slide right in there at the power forward spot. Draymond gets a little bit of rest time. I wouldn't doubt it if the Warriors send Kuminga and Jordan Poole and like a Patrick Baldwin up north of the border for a Pascal Siakam type player. or maybe they send pick 19. You never know. We'll see. But if they stay here, G.G. Jackson is the pick. Maybe they take like a Jett Howard. If they do make that trade for Siakam, boom, right back into contention. But we'll see. Now at 20, we have the Houston Rockets. This is where they're going to take a shot on a guy that they think can really develop, and Jett Howard is that guy in my opinion. 6'8". Now I'm sure they would love to trade back and take like a Nick Smith or a Dereck Whitehead, a guy that was really hurt by injuries that could be an extreme value pick here. But Jett Howard with the 20th overall pick to the Houston Rockets, I think that's going to be a nice fit for the Rockets there. 6'8", and he can really shoot it from downtown. Creates his own shot well. Now I wouldn't be surprised to see the Nets trade one of these picks, but they do have 2 picks. So with their first one, they're going to be taking Jalen Hood-Schifino, a guy that can create. Ben Simmons, he's not reliable at all. They still got Spencer Dinwiddie, but he's aging. So it's going to be Jalen Hood-Schifino as their point guard of the future. And then with their other pick, they're going to take Dereck Whitehead, a guy that can develop into something special there on the wing. Now, I know Keyonte George is here, but I still have hope for Cam Thomas, for him developing into something. I mean, hey, we saw him drop 40 every time he touched the floor this year. So it's going to be Jalen Hood-Schifino to run the point in the future, and Dereck Whitehead on the wing. Now at 23, we have the Blazers back up on the clock, and hey, they get a chance here to take a guy in Keyonte George that is probably a lot higher on some other people's boards, and he's a guy that, coming out of Baylor, had a really, really strong start to the year, did not really finish the year very well, but he's still a guy oozing with potential, lottery-type talent for sure. Just ends up falling here to 23, and the Blazers are going to scoop him up. Now at 24, we have the Sacramento Kings. Why did I say the Brooklyn Nets? But here they have they need another wing that can defend a little bit, and there's a guy that has been flying up some draft boards lately by the name of Leonard Miller that can defend. He's potential to be a very good shooter. So Leonard Miller is going to be the pick here for the Sacramento Kings at number 24. Number 25, we have the Memphis Grizzlies, and this is where Nick Smith Jr. is going to fall. They have 2 later second-round picks, but they have, a bit of a luxury to take a swing on a guy that, hey, he could turn out to be something really special. If he doesn't, it's all right. It's the 25th overall pick in the draft. You're probably not going to get a rotational player anyways, although the Grizzlies have been phenomenal at drafting over the last few years. Either way, it's going to be Nick Smith Jr. here for the Grizzlies. Boom or bust type guy. Now at 26, we have the Indiana Pacers, and this is going to be a very brief explanation. They're taking a shot on Ryan Rupert, putting him in the G League, and hoping he can develop. Not much more needs to be said. I mean, they got 2 more picks in the next 5, so Ryan Rupert there. Now we have the Charlotte Hornets, and I think they're going to take the hometown kid. Although they have James Bouknight, they can look to... never mind. They're not going to do that. Here's what they're going to do. We're going to take Jordan Miller out of Miami. Really liked his draft stock. Just another wing that I think can be a developmental piece. I got to do some more scouting. The back half of my board's a little bit weak. But Jordan Miller there to the Hornets at 27. And he's a guy that's probably not on many other people's draft boards. Now, at 28, we have the Utah Jazz going out and getting another shot maker in Terquavion Smith out of NC State. Now, his field goal percentage was not the highest, but he averaged 18 points and 4 assists for a reason. He's got a lot of potential. And he's going at 28 there to the Jazz. At 29, we have the Pacers back on the clock, and they're going to go with a project big here in Noah Clowney out of Alabama. Shows a lot of potential, but again, they have room to take some flyers on guys that may not pan out, but hey, they already got their guy in this draft, so maybe Noah Clowney can come in and be the backup power forward for them in the future. The final pick of the first round here is going to be Isaiah Wong out of Miami going to Los Angeles. Russell Westbrook is probably gone. Bones Highland's not really working out. They need a point guard. He's very NBA ready, in my opinion. He can make all the shots you need him to. He can do whatever you want him to do on the floor. I've seen him carve up the ACC for the last 2 years now. Isaiah Wong is going to be a Los Angeles Clipper, and I think he's going to really produce for them from day one. So here is the full first round NBA mock draft. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you like who I picked for your team? If not, why? Next mock draft video is going to be a lottery mock draft with trades. So if you do like that idea, make sure to subscribe button, turn the post notifications on, leave me a comment on this video, hit the like button, make sure to come back later. And with that being said, it's midnight. I gotta go to bed. Good night. Make sure to come back later. Thanks for watching.